Hi, I'm Greg Harrison with the USDA Market News Service here in St. Joe, Missouri with the National Feeder Cattle Summary, filling in this week for Corbett Wall. Compared to last week, feeder classes of calves and yearlings sold mostly steady to $3 higher, instances up to $5 higher throughout many regions in the area. We still have tight numbers, and light fall runs are becoming very apparent, with yearling supplies also very tight at this time of the year. Demand remains very good for yearlings, and weaned and vaccinated calves drawing the most interest. Calf buyers continue to pay steady to higher prices for good quality calves that are weaned and are selling in uniform bunches with vaccination programs behind them, as seasonal health issues are a concern at this time of the year. This week's fed cattle market was mostly $2 lower in the Southern Plains, trading at $1.19. In the Northern Plains this week, it was steady to $2 lower, trading from $1.19 to $1.21. Dress sales this week were mostly $1 to $3 lower, trading from $1.87 to $1.89. Live cattle futures rebounded late Thursday, closing higher, and then again higher on Friday, which should help support the feeder cattle market going into next week. Looking into Northern Plains continues to show very good demand for feeders, as in Valentine, Nebraska on Monday had a yearling sale where they sold right at 725 head of steers weighing between 750 and 800 pounds. It had a weighted average of 783 pounds with a weighted average price of $147.91. Then on Thursday in Valentine, Nebraska, they had a calf sale which had impressive sales of near 250 head of fancy steer calves weighing 468 pounds that averaged $190.50. A lot of good quality calves and yearlings in the Northern Plains selling with very good demand at this time. On Tuesday of this week, we saw corn futures trade limit up on Tuesday. This came out ahead of the USDA Crop Production and World Supply and Demand Report, that came out on Wednesday, as they were expecting bullish numbers. Instead, on Wednesday, the crop report was pretty much neutral, as it did not contain any explosive or bullish news. Corn production was forecasted at 12.4 billion bushels. That was down 1% from September's report. Corn yields remained unchanged from the September report, coming in at 148.1 bushels per acre. That's down 4.7 bushels per acre from last year. Harvest acres came in at 83.9 million acres. That was down 1% from September's report. Overall, stocks were slightly higher, but we certainly do not have a surplus of corn, as corn supplies and stocks remain very tight. Looking at some regional weighted averages in the north central region for steers weighing 600 to 700 pounds, traded at $142.98 this week. That was actually about $1 lower than last week. 700 to 800 pound steers were $1 higher, trading at $140.76. 800 to 900 pounds were also about $1 higher, trading at $134.73. Looking at the south central region, steers weighing between 500 and 600 pounds had a weighted average of $139.36. That's about $2 higher than last week, where 600 to 700 pound steers averaged $138.53, which was steady with last week, and 700 to 800 pounds were $2 higher, trading at $138.06. And this has been your Market News Report. Corbett will be back with you next week. You can catch more of our markets at this website. Until then, have a good weekend.